and final upload for today, and this upload is basically with regard to marital rights, the marital rights of women, and the position of women in a democracy, and the position of women in 2020, and women of the law and women of the legal system that are facilitating injustice and adultery and the disrespect of women's entitlements. So those women that are facilitating these kind of ill-worthy causes, I'm just concerned about how this situation of women being bartered and bargained um, as a consequence of legal obstructions could ever be occurring. So individuals that have considered it possible to change a few facts and change a few figures and change a few dates and falsify such serious information about a person's origins, about a person's identity, about a person's marital rights, etc. These are all offences. The issues I've discussed are not only just observations that I've noticed and that I am free to discuss about, but that I have also experienced. As I've mentioned, the authorities and ombudsmen have been made aware of the violations of privacy, violations of freedom, etc., etc. I'd appreciate it if these offences would be investigated as they are meant to be investigated, and I'd also appreciate if people thinking that they are going to violate rights to freedom as a means to avoid their offences and to trespass and to cause further exploitation and theft and damage and harm, realise the consequences for doing so for all other women also in society. So this upload is basically with regards to the dangers of deserted women and the legal obstructions and legal violations being perpetrated against women intentionally to safeguard adulterers and to safeguard offenders against women's rights. So a brief short upload, not a pleasant upload, but the endangerment caused by these people perpetrating bystander effect, ignoring the seriousness of these issues that I'm discussing, are indirectly just as guilty as the offenders causing and orchestrating these issues in this and other vendettas of hate crime and human rights violations. So there are some things, as I've mentioned, not for sale. As a woman that has been robbed of so much, my profession, my opportunities, my family life, my home life, etc., etc., I'd appreciate um, investigative measures to be implemented with regards to the people that have done so much damage in society. Human rights, 28 of them in the Declaration, each disrespected and desecrated. So the UN agencies are fully aware of these circumstances. I hope you know the seriousness of how women's rights is just an issue of the utmost of concern in 2020. Um, Identity theft, financial theft, professional theft, and the other matters that I've discussed are ongoing. And those women of the law and lawfulness that are ignoring these offences and facilitating the offenders and perpetrating offences themselves have a heavy burden of many remorseful consequences ahead of them for damages done to innocence and to women's rights.